We started this program, actually, I guess January will be 14 years ago. It doesn't seem like it's been an amazing 14 years. And it all started because of an article I read in actually the Bakersfield, Californian. It was about a young guy named Julian Dean Johnson. JDJ, as he later became called. He was a former gangbanger. He was a former drug dealer. He had a girlfriend with a 2-year-old baby. And he got out of the gangs and started focusing on football. And he had we had a really good junior year, he had an incredible senior year. And the article highlighted his success, and they talked about academics, how his grades were better, which meant they were a formula. That was a formula for saying they weren't good. The part of the article that just really ripped my heart out is he talked about he was one of 5 boys, and there wasn't a lot of food in the family. And he would go to practice hungry. But he said he found out if you drink enough water, the hunger pains will go away. And I'm like, this is America. This is a top-notch student athlete, and he's not eating. God gave me the vision for Are G.A.M E, because I tell everybody all the time, this is God's program, it's not mine. I'm just honored that he chose me to start it. And we do nothing magical. It takes a village. We don't tell, for the parents, we don't tell your student athletes anything that you're not telling them. But, it's amazing. Sometimes all of a sudden they have this epiphany. We're going to have some of our student athletes actually speak to you and talk about their journey. Everybody's journey is different. We'd like to tell you that you decide this is what I'm going to do, and it happens. So one of the things I'll say for anyone who's a student athlete, the good news is everyone in this room can get a college education if you don't have one. That's the good news. The bad news is I doubt if there's one person in this room that will become a professional athlete. And I'm not being negative. You look at the odds. But if you get an education, you can live a good life. I was never as talented as any of you on your worst day, but I got an education, I lived a good life, and God's really blessed me beyond what I deserve. Is education the end-all and be-all? No, but it's sure a lot better than what the alternatives are. We are really an education organization. Sports is just a hook that we use to bring student athletes into our program. And at the end of the day, and you'll hear from some of them, if you never play a day of sports and you want to join our program, you're in. We're an education program. And just to show you, we've diversified. We've just started a program for engineers. Why? Because we've had a number of engineers join our program, potential engineers. And by the time they got to their freshman year in college or sophomore year in college, they dropped that. And we somewhat understand, but we said, hey, let's give them some support. And it's very different. I said, it's sexy to say I want to play in the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball. There's nothing sexy about saying I'm going to be an engineer, but you know what? Engineers do pretty good financially. So we're going to have a dichotomy of, we're going to have athletes on one side, and please don't be insulted, and nerds on the other, because I'm old enough now to realize the nerds won. The Bill Gateses of the world, the Steve Jobs, they won. Okay, we're going to have that. And another aspect of the program that we're trying to share with young people is financial literacy. We are starting to show young people, if you work with us and the advisors that we have, and you start when you're in your 20s, by the time you're in your 40s, you can be millionaires. Investing, saving, and by the way, saving is really hard. I don't care who you are. It's a difficult thing to do. So we've diversified to go into that area as well. The number one rule, and I'm not the smartest guy around, so I got to tell you, when we started this program for the first 2 years, we worked with some of the most talented student athletes we've ever had in our program, and none of them ever made it. So rule number one of Are G.A.M E is you can't help someone who doesn't want help. But if you want it, I can assure you we'll be there for you. We'll be there every step of the way, just like as one of the young ladies who joined our program and came to our mentoring weekend one time said, when you join Are G.A.M E, you join a family. And that's the way we are. We stay in touch with our student athletes as long as they are willing to do that. We deal, we see them, we go to see them. A lot of these athletes will tell you, we go to school. We went to see Bubba Varela play in Idaho. We went to see Alyssa Charles lift weights. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But she did it. She competed. She was there. We went to her first. We've gone to see Dwayne. Anybody that's in our program and active, we've gone. We've been there for you, and we'll continue to be there for you.